Hello everyone, and welcome to my bold and beautiful official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Will Thomas and Daphne plot to ruin Carter and Hope's romance? Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful suggest that Daphne Rose and Thomas Forrester might work together covertly. Will Hope Logan and Carter Walton's romance as a couple be destroyed by these plotters? The program might be setting the stage for Thomas's return, which is scheduled for early September. Thomas might already be in town with a hidden partner. When Steffi Forrester urged Daphne to come back to Los Angeles, she first said no, but she eventually did. What if Daphne went because Thomas persuaded her to? After all, fans believe that Thomas still resides in Paris, where Daphne also resided before to her return to Los Angeles. It's possible that Thomas and Paris Buckingham's engagement ended discreetly off-screen. It makes sense for Thomas to approach Daphne as an ally, as he may already be planning to get Hope back. Daphne, who is friends with Steffi, might also be friends with Thomas. It might be Thomas's time to plot with Daphne in an attempt to achieve his desired result. Daphne and Thomas may become friends after he returns to the screen, even if they haven't already. In the end, Daphne and Thomas might come to the realization that if they both want Hope's relationship with Carter to fail, they share a same objective. Thomas could assist Daphne in manipulating the circumstances in the hopes that she can successfully snatch Carter from Hope. That might make it possible for Thomas to take up Hope's broken heart. If Daphne reunites with Carter and Thomas reunites with Hope, he may see it as a win-win situation. Daphne is the ideal person to make Carter happy, and Thomas can convince himself that he is the best person to make Hope happy. In any case, now that Thomas is preparing for a comeback stint, there may be a chance for an alliance between Daphne and him. Thomas might be willing to collaborate with Daphne on a perilous breakup mission, if his Hope obsession flares up again. According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Thomas might have some changes in his love life. Keep an eye out for any upcoming romantic developments. Daphne Rose came back. For a variety of reasons, Steffi has been urging her friend Daphne Rose to return to Los Angeles. Following the fashion show, her new perfume was warmly received. In addition, after everything she had been through, she wanted her best friend by her side. Daphne took her time going back to Forrester Creations. Despite her desire to collaborate with the West Coast crew, there is one individual who complicates everything. Carter is that dude. Despite her desire to stay away from Carter and Hope in the hallways, Daphne grudgingly went back. She ran into Carter on the way back, and they continued their conversation. Carter flirted with the nose quickly because he couldn't help but be attracted to her distinctive aroma. We were left wanting more after Daphne and Carter's exchange. What this means for Carter, especially his relationship with Hope, is what we want to know. Despite the fact that they recently got engaged, we think their relationship is about to take a turn for the worse. The majority of Hope's time has been spent with Liam, who recently discovered that his diagnosis was false. Daphne might be hiding something in the meantime. Fans of B&B have been speculating about whether she is expecting Carter's child. We didn't witness the two of them sharing a bed. However, she did spend a considerable amount of time in Carter's loft when he inadvertently overheard Hope and Liam talking. Hope might wind up in the arms of Thomas, who is anticipated to return in September. As a result, we're eager to find out what will happen in this complex love triangle. Bill's decision to have Luna released into his custody on home arrest, and then have her homicide charges completely dropped, was incomprehensible to everyone. To be honest, it wouldn't make sense even if he used every last favor he could find in the legal system to do this. Nevertheless, Luna was given her much-needed second chance, and she blew it. Despite her constant claims to the contrary, Luna was neither rehabilitated nor redeemed and posed a threat to anyone who dared to cross her. Viewers of Bold and Beautiful could see the beach house school shootout from a great distance, so it was not shocking that Luna's fixation with seeing her father led to 3 near fatalities. Even those closest to Luna understood that she was totally insane. However, Lee, her aunt's grandma, believed that if she could keep her alive, she could cure the psychopath. After learning nothing at all from Bill's experience, Finn's mother dragged Luna's nearly lifeless body from the hospital and into her living room, where she began a scheme that can only be described as completely irrational. Lee informed Sheila, who forced her way into the cover-up, that if she had kept Luna alive at the hospital, she would have been sent to prison for the rest of her life. This is where things become hazy since Lee suggested that she could keep Luna out of jail and put things right if she could heal her at home. We don't see how Lee will shield Luna from the repercussions of her conduct, unless she intends to give her a face transplant before releasing her back into society. Everyone on the canvas will despise Luna even more than they did before, even if Lee manages to clear her of the charges like Bill did. Maybe we shouldn't have been surprised to learn that Luna had emerged from all of this with her Will Spencer sex addiction at the forefront of her thoughts rather than amnesia or regret. A fury Luna awakens and Bill vows retribution against Grace Buckingham. Sheila is amazed that Lee saved Luna in the same way that she had saved Finn. There are no assurances, Lee informs her. Speaking for all of us, Sheila queries why she did this in light of her feelings for her. Something changed inside Lee when she realized that Luna's life was in the hospital. She was staring down at her granddaughter, her pitiful niece. Sheila supposes she was powerless to stop herself. Lee admits that she had feelings for Luna, and thought perhaps she might be forgiven. The girl was contaminated by her drug-addled, self-centered sister. Luna made the decision to do everything within her power to save her as she teetered on the edge of death. She'll turn her around. At the hospital where she has a group of physicians and nurses, Sheila questions why Lee didn't save Luna. Lee claims she would spend the rest of her life behind bars if she did that. Knowing that was her fate, she nearly let her pass. It's a waiting game now, as she slipped her away in the hopes of offering her a real opportunity at redemption. Lee fades away the longer she remains unconscious. All she needs to do is awaken before it's too late. Will and Elektra make out in the main office at Forrester. After complimenting her on her sexiness, the conversation swiftly shifts to Luna leaving because of his brother. The physicians who rescued him are heroes, they concur. Bill tells Katie across the hall that he will always owe Grace Buckingham. Ivy, meantime, interrupts Will and Elektra's conversation about Luna to inquire as to whether Liam will actually live. Ivy and Elektra get together to discuss how difficult it would have been for the jewelry designer to say goodbye to Liam after Will yells and departs. Elektra is also relieved that Luna will never be a part of their life again. Hope and Liam shout and pace around Bill's house while recounting how Grace defrauded Bill of $1 million. "Because I didn't have brain cancer," yells Liam. They curse at the Buckinghams and ask why Grace didn't just contact the police. When Liam's phone rings, Finn answers and informs him that the doctor has given herself in. After Hope explains what Grace went through with Liam, he understands that he needs to call someone else. Hope believes that when Bill learns, he will want to murder the doctor. Liam phones his father to come home after nodding. Yep. Liam disconnects and informs Hope that his father will lose it. Conversation shifts to Luna's inability to harm anyone in the future. When Bill shows up, he wants to know what's happening. "You're going to find it difficult to believe the story we have to tell you," Liam warns. Before admitting that he was correct, his son makes references to Finn's queries and misgivings. That was untrue. Bill misunderstands Liam to imply that he still has a tumor. "I never had one," Liam says. Hope claims that the $1 million he sent was used to settle the gambling debts of Grace's ex-husband, who had fabricated a brain tumor after suffering a brain bleed. It was a fraud. As they describe the threats against Grace resulting from Reese's gambling debts, Bill reels and grows more upset. "The bitch will pay," Bill promises, and pay terribly. "Grace Buckingham will regret ever having met me." She swears Sheila to secrecy at Lee's house. Sheila gives Luna a nod and requests a moment. When she is by herself, she tells her that her blood is in her veins and that she is strong. "Please wake up," she begs. Luna squeezes her hand as expected. Sheila calls Lee, and a moment after Luna opens her eyes, grinning down at her as she sees Sheila and Lee together. The fact that her grandmothers are supporting her makes Lee and Sheila very happy. Breaks loose as Sheila makes a startling discovery and Grace confesses. Finn informs Grace at Bill's house that she must tell Liam the truth about his brain cancer. Hope and Liam believe it has returned. "There isn't any cancer," Grace swallows. "There isn't a tumor." Liam and Hope chuckle in relief. Liam tells her, "You truly are a miracle worker." Liam keeps praising Grace while Hope continues. When they say they're laying it on thick, they mean it. At last, Finn steps in and requests that Liam listen to Grace as she explains the full extent of his brain tumor. Bill and Katie talk about how serious it is that Forrester almost lost his son in his design workplace. Bill claims that Grace Buckingham's feat was amazing and well worth the money. 1 million of them. Katie scowls. Given that Liam was still healing from a gunshot wound, the situation is a little odd. According to Bill, Grace saved Liam from certain death. She is a saint. Bill informs Katie that after almost losing his child, he has now figured out what his priorities are. He feels he behaved like a dictator and regrets how he handled Liam. Katie claims that now that he gets a second shot with him, things are different. Bill gives Grace Buckingham another credit. He owes Grace far more than $1 million and regrets releasing Luna from prison. Grace informs Liam in hope that she did something at Bill's place right then. "I changed the scans," she blurts. "What are you saying?" Liam asks, staring. "The mass was never there," Grace blurts. Although he didn't have a malignant tumor, she gave the impression that he did. Liam finds this incomprehensible because he exhibited every sign of brain cancer. "There was no tumor," Grace reiterates. "But you operated," says Hope. According to Grace, she made it appear as though she did. With trepidation, Liam laughs. His head has sutures in it. Grace claims that in order to treat him, she prescribed a medication to cause symptoms. Hope is furious that she can come up with an explanation when Liam asks why she would do that. "For a million reasons." Finn leaps between Liam and Buckingham as Liam suddenly lunges at him. "You put me through hell," yells Liam. "As well as my family. For months." Liam attacks her once more after Grace sobs and Finn retells what she did. "Please explain," she begs. "We don't want to hear you explain," yells Hope. She claims that she is just as horrible as her spouse. Grace informs them that she isn't. Due to Reese's incarceration, the bookies were unable to obtain the money, so they pursued her and her daughters instead. It's still extortion according to Liam. She presented herself as divine. Hope approaches Grace and slaps her with a good soap opera. Liam reminds Grace that she stole months of his and his family's lives, regardless of how guilty or afraid she is. Since this will plague her for the rest of her life, Grace will give herself in. "I'll take her to the police station," replies Finn. When she is by herself, Hope lets her feelings go and sobs for Liam's ordeal while cradling him.